Alright, so we were talking to Alphino. Alphino wishes to share the latest developments in the search for the missing scions. Fortuitous timing as always, Fadewind. Tataru is about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind, then. Absolutely. You'll be pleased to hear that Riel and his men have been making excellent progress. If anyone wants to step in and voice these characters for me, feel free. Until then, you remember how Philemon helped me? I thought it was Philomena. Maybe not. Flamen? Flamen. You remember how Flamen helped me to escape? Oh. Well, whatever she said. We'll just let it roll. She's got places to be. I forgot I turned on auto scroll. Yes, that would make sense. They cannot risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We are but certain that they fled the city shortly thereafter, although we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Mephilia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of the Chilean scholar, one of the students of Valdesian, to aid in the search. We should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first we must attend to a more pressing matter. Zamric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify that what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Fadewind, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm going too long, you know? The Lord Commander is within. Pray proceed, miss.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order, but such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
and we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir then?
We haven't met that dragon yet, have we?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Yeah. So what you what you missed last night, we put down the Pope basically, and the 2 eyes of Nidhogg were joined together, and in doing so, Nidhogg's power returned, and he overtook Estinian, the Azure Dragoon. So using his body as a vessel, so now he's back, and that's a problem. Also, the Asians have put out a call to the heroes of darkness, or the warriors of darkness, because we're the warriors of light. All right, Lucia, I have no idea what you have to say. I know little of the lands these dragons call home, this Annex Shrine. They do not agree to escort me. The coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess I myself once shudder at the thought of it. Even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? Ah, but ere we set forth, Faedwin and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well. I shall see to my preparations. Oh, that was Alphino speaking. Sorry. Sorry, Alphino. Then let us go and bid farewell to Tataru, Faedwin. A diplomatic mission to Annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence. But should your meeting with Vidofnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Ishtola in Idleshire. Be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Time permitting, as I said. We shall endeavor to join Ishtola, but if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Faedwin. We have kept the first commander waiting long enough. You are ready then. Good. So am I. What are we gonna take? I kinda wish I had a plugin to say which one is worth more. We'll just go with whatever one helps us. Spellcaster. We'll go with spell speed. $5 well spent. Sheesh. I keep forgetting to eat food. That's an extra 3% XP I could be getting. The path is long, but known to us. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the Western Highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dravanian Forelands. There we can stop to rest and replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. If you're just tuning in and you play Final Fantasy XIV, this is the interlude, basically the patches that happen between Heavensward and is it Shadowbringers that's next? Whatever is next. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army, and here I am ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past, though it was I who first proposed recruiting Izael to our cause. I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, and for a long time after that. Here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands, men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our side she fought in service of that greater good, even unto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alphino, yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, of course. We must press on to Annex Shrine, if you will follow me. I actually like Lady Iceheart, she was pretty cool. For Izael. I told Vang, I believe, that anytime I start to like a character, they die. A la Game of Thrones. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Izael. Hey! But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Emeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and the acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war. But now we know the truth. That King Thoran and his knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the great worm Ratatoska, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, the truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azure Dragoon, in Izael. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Izael once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. That was funny. Yet dream we must as we already read that. Yet dream we must as Izael once did, and we must make that dream a reality as she could not. And then the untimely Uwu redemption. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request tonight. However, I cannot give you mine answer. May I ask why? This matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ha! Fear not, knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon? My humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith, until we meet again. Yeah, that's the timeline of dragons. Like, you ask a question, I hope you find out within your timeline, within your lifespan. Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised.
Are you winning, son?
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
Yep, those are the sound redemptions. You want to go and tell that dragon that? I'm not. To be frank, I'm surprised that proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fears for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our services, we shall continue on to Charlayan. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was, and thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your word. Who is that? That must be the scholar we're going to meet. So, it would seem we have time to meet the scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she moans. Is not what that says. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Ishtola in Idleshire. You know, you threw all these alerts, and I'm... At least Vang wasn't here to see that. Phaedwin, it is good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Annex Shrine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidofnir go well? As well as can be expected, she must discuss Sir Emric's proposal with Chris Vilga, of course, but she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of our Charlayan guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on Front Bridge. We should be on our way. Well, but nothing past Jonathan as far as trying to find ways to get channel points, I suppose. Alright, so we're gonna meet our new friend. Still can't fly here, I'm missing some ethereal currents, it seems. Cute.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
Ta-da!
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Krau, who has recently come from the Charlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the warrior of light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss. And who is that I spy but young Alpha No Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Cryle and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Cryle.
Oh no, please tell us. Cryo has dirt on Alphino.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Okay, I love her. She's amazing already.
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? Okay, where the hell were we in the story? The prospect of meeting the famous Master Matoya seems to have set Cryo thinking. I have heard many stories of Master Matoya, some flattering, others less so. Rest assured they are all true. This way, and have care where you tread. Oh yeah, because they have like aggressive frogs over here, I think. But my level is over-leveled. So as long as I'm at least, to my observation, as long as I'm at least 10 levels over the aggressive mobs, they're not going to bother me. Which is good. I should probably be working other jobs to get the levels up. Matoya is also cool. It's a very Studio Ghibli sort of element to her and her magicked brooms and whatnot.
Let me talk to you.
Is that trouble I smell?
Shut up, I'm
Or did you forget to
talking.
wipe your boots on the way in?
Was that Jonathan again with another crazily timed Stream Elements Redemption? We meet Matoya and then, let me talk to you! Okay. So y'all know where the Stream Element shop is now. That's good. So what did she say? Is that trouble I smell, or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Kryl, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
There's a part of this theme that reminds me of, like, Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now. If you're familiar with that song, just keep an ear out, because I would like other people to keep thinking that Celine Dion is about to sing. We passed it a moment ago, and I don't know when it's going to cycle around again. But it's like it's the piano note centric art, if that makes sense. It's not a given that y'all know the song I'm talking about because y'all are young as hell, but and it's all coming back to me. Right? Anybody? No? Alright.
Baldessian, you say? Oh, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power.
Kryl, you too possess the Echo.
Oh, we just met Kryl, and I love her because she has dirt on Alphino.
Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
Oh, there's also, since there are more people here, I'll say it again, there is also a potential movie night coming up tomorrow night, Wednesday night or Thursday night. So if you want to check the moving pictures section of Discord, you can vote on if you're interested and what time and day you might be interested. It's a movie I said I didn't care to watch, but I can watch it for free, and I have more time on my hands this week with my family out of town, so maybe we'll give it a shot.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the science of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience.
Isn't she great?
Oh, wait here.
What do you main, Burps? Got Lurk make dinner, but should be back in a bit. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much for the raid, Neo.
And its familiar radiance. But never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
You enjoy your dinner.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
See, I liked the dynamic between Estinian and Izael. And then Izael died. And I was like, well, okay then. They took Moonbrita from me, they took Izael from me, they almost took Nanamo from me.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Then
Oh, wait,
let
there's
us
more.
begin.
Izael's death was one of the most heartbreaking deaths in the game, in my opinion. So you don't have his word content. You have some huge shields coming up in the not so distant future. Oh, great. Great. Love that from me. I've definitely not cried on the stream. Oh. Yeah, and the tragedy of Izael is that she was like, her whole identity was devoted.
Black shroud. The trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al.
Like, so much of her existence was devoted to the identity of being linked with Lady Iceheart, or with Shiva. And then, you know, the dragons are all like, yeah, actually, that's not her. That's just like your assumption of her. So, like, she had an identity crisis, basically. And that didn't really get resolved, which is unfortunate. Won't spoil what they are ever, but yeah, this game just punches the shit out of you and just happens more and more frequently. And Walker's pure pain, I cry my way through it. Well, I'm sure I'll get to Endwalker content in 2027. I'm trying.
It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Oh, I've also been told to stop hating on Alphino. He has had character development and a new voice actor, which I think is much better. But I still voice him the way that he was before, which to me rings of like Ash, not Ash, of James from Team Rocket. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet even had Thancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case we need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fear not, Cryle. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory. A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Ishtola and I will inquire at the outlying encampments, while Fadewind and Cryo question the residents of Tailfeather. Afterwards, we shall regroup near Lothast Vath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it. So we're going to do the whole have you seen this man? My, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we'd best get started. Find me when you finish making your rounds. Okay, so I'm going to do the have you seen this man. Alright. I thought she was supposed to help me. Searching for a friend of yours? Let's have a look then. Here you go. No, I didn't see him around. Sorry. Oh boy, perps. I started trying to do every quest available. I was warned very early on to not do that and just do the blue ones. What's that you've got there? Sketch? Can't say I know the face. Say he's something of a warrior. I heard a tale the other day about a Huron vagabond who brought down a bandersnatch by himself, and with style. The way they tell it, he was dancing with the beast like it was the bell of the bleeding bull. Sounds like your man? There are so many quests. Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to do all the quests during my full playthrough. Nope. There are so many. And even some of the main quests, especially in A Realm Reborn, are carry this information to the person right over there. And then they're like, why'd you send that to me? I'm not the person. Go back. And then you go back to the original person. They're like, my bad. It's the person over there. And then you go tell them, they're like, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Go back to the first person. I'm sure they have a reward for you. You know. And that's like most of the quests, at least in A Realm Reborn. You're in man? We're not exactly rare, you know. Could you be more specific? I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a look at his face, but it could have been him. This is beyond the forest, as I recall, along the river to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. The lad was making no effort to cover his tracks, see? That and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow. I've gotten so used to not having the ethereal currents that I just run. Finished. In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have. I got all the items. I'm not going for the 100 win title or whatever. That's just crazy to me. I think I got everything short of the title. I was like, I'm done. I did actual Fall Guys when it came out. I'm not one to live through that again. My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to question as many hunters as we could. Many have made camp in inaccessible locations, ideal for hunting game, not so receiving visitors. Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Huron hunter with whom no one is familiar. Though none chanced to see the man's face, his height and build match Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. So you have heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof. Mayhap this is unrelated, but I heard a curious tale regarding a Vath trader. He came to Tailfeather in search of garments fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You are implying that Thancred sent a Vath to market in his stead. Why would he not go himself? Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from the livestream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget. Is it now? Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. it stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament. In any case, if he had dealings with the Vav, they should be able to tell us, no? Quite right, Cryle. Quite right. That's sentence. She sells seashells by the seashore. Well, what are we waiting for? For all we know, Thancred could be waiting for us in Lothar's Vath. We must go and see the Vath right away. Come along, everyone, come along. Oh no. Great hunters, we welcome you once more to Lothar's Vath. What do you seek this day? We seek a man with whom we are told you may have had certain dealings. How curious. The hunters tire of godly sport and pursue mortal prey? No, he is not prey, but a friend long missing. Good. He is a friend to the Vath as well, one with whom we have traded many times. Truly, and you are quite certain it was this man? There is no doubt. The fleshling clothed in skins came to us from Samal, lost and weak. He offered meat and hides in trade, and in exchange we tended his wounds. He brought us much flesh, so skilled a hunter he was, much flesh. When he asked for garments, we were glad to provide them. And where is he now? Gone to Lothasnath, not long ago, when he heard that one mind had summoned our god once more. Ravana is returned. Vidofnir did say that the Nath had grown as before, but what could Thancred hope to accomplish by himself? Honored Elder, we thank you for your help. Would that we could repay this kindness ere we depart, but we must hasten to our comrade's side. Go, great hunters, lest the Nath claim him as a sacrifice. Yeah, they don't just let you walk in here for some reason.
Who else could be? Thancred. It could be Thancred. We must hurry.
Oh, is he gonna solo him? That'll help. Oh, that works. Ooh, he's got a new party now. Oh wait, no, no, that's right. The Warriors of Darkness, or whatever.
Reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Ascians forever.
I forgot. The Ascians are like, yeah, the Warriors of Light are too much. Let's send out the Warriors of Darkness or whatever.
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
I don't think I've encountered this Ascian before. I don't remember that voice.
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not.
So you are the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them?
Thanks for hanging out, Jonathan. You have a good night. Okay.
Not very sporting of you to interrupt, but so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness, walkers of a different path, and we shall meet again.
No one had a stun. Alright. Okay.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Thancred, are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
Y'all can teleport. Just teleport, man.
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then, had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the altogether.
This is funny. It's kind of nut.
Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
Yeah, it was Vangsurge, actually. I was just there.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more?
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed warriors of darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the warrior of light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
Blessed with the power of the Echo, and driven to put down primals, despite his declaration that they walk a different path, I struggle to see how their goals conflict with ours. Nor is it the only oddity. I find it passing strange that such exceptional individuals should have wholly escaped our notice until now. Surely we would have heard rumors and attempted to recruit them to our cause. I recall no such adventurers, and I would not soon forget their like, nor would any of us, I think. One of our primary duties was to scour the city-states for promising candidates, which is how I found Phaedwin. Ah, the memories. It seems like only yesterday that you slew your first primal. Speaking of which, I had the distinct impression that it was not the first time that a band of merry men and women had killed a god. I labor to believe that a band of preternaturally gifted adventurers had been traveling the land, slaying primals without our knowledge. It would imply gross negligence on our part. Speculation will avail us not. There is far too much we do not know. For the present, we must needs concentrate on what we do know, namely that Lord Ravana is no more. Vidofnir must be informed. The news may render her more receptive to Sir Emeric's invitation. Since you seem to have affairs here well in hand, I shall take my leave. Simply being in the vicinity of this colony has given me a stinking headache. If you have need of me, I shall be with Master Matoya. I'd beg her assistance in the search of Minfilia. Wait, Minfilia is missing. I thought she escaped with Phaedwin. I shall explain on the road. Much has happened in your absence. Was he always missing an eye? I don't remember. I think I had last seen him like 3 months ago, real time. I had not thought to see thee again so soon, mortal. If thou seekest the night, know that she hath long since departed for Ishgard. My thanks, Vidofnir, but it was not for her that we came. We bring good tidings for you and yours. Lord Ravana, who had been summoned by the Nath, has again been laid low. Truly, once more you mortals have succeeded where mine own kind did fail. You have our deepest thanks. With it we could take credit. The god fell by another's hand. Another, revelation upon revelation. Regardless, it is cause for celebration. and other words that end in ation. The Nath will have no choice but to withdraw. But to another matter, I have tidings for thee as well. Regarding the Ishgardian's invitation. As promised, I brought the matter to my sire. Hearken to his answer now. For 1,000 years have I mourned my beloved, who gave her life to forge a peace thy king betrayed. Such was my lot, until a child of Ishgard came unto me. For want of warmth she wrapped herself in a dream, yet the world will remember her deeds. For truth she fought, for justice she sinned, for redemption she sacrificed and became as light. To follow one's heart, to have faith in one's convictions, be it for weal or be it for woe, such is the folly and the glory of man, and of dragon. He hath entrusted the choice to us, and we have made it. We will keep faith with you who walk in the light. Then you accept Sir Amric's invitation? Let it be known that I, Vidofnir, shall journey unto Ishgard on behalf of my people. We are honored to receive your answer, and will convey your words to our allies without delay. It is happening, Isael. Would that you were here to see it.
Even as the Scions celebrated the return of a long-lost friend, honorable men plotted to deprive them of another. Honorable men, to whom Sir Emeric was no hero, but a scheming patricide.
No. No way.
Honorable men who would fain wash the paving stones of foundation with the tyrant's blood. Honorable men whose knife in the dark was the spark which set the city aflame, and who sang as it burned.
Are you kidding me? Yo, I'm so sorry. It was a cutscene that played as an interlude during the ad break. And it was just thrown in there like nothing. So we're treated to a scene of streets, and Sir Amric is walking about talking with his council, I guess. Someone bumps into him, stabs him in the stomach, and he falls over. And the narrator is saying, basically, some people think that Sir Amric killed his father to take over control. And that's where the cutscene is. If Sir Amric just dies in such an unceremonious way, I'm gonna be unhappy. I'm gonna be unhappy, because there's another character I liked. Right, let us not keep Sir Amric waiting. Are you quite well, Thancred? Yes, quite well. Forgive me, you have given me rather a lot to digest. This whole affair with the Ishgardians and the Dravanians, and our friends nowhere to be found. It would seem there's no end to our troubles. We can but face them head on, one at a time. For now we must apply ourselves to our allotted tasks and leave the others to theirs. Remember, Thancred, we found you as they found me. In time we will find Ida? I forget. And Papalimo and Menphilia as well. These troubles will soon be but a memory, one in which we will look back on together. Pray do not misunderstand, I do not mean to imply that it would be otherwise. I merely wish that I had rejoined our grand adventure at one of its more triumphal moments. Despite your recent accomplishments, the mood here is rather less than celebratory. But I have no doubt that we will enjoy many more glorious victories soon enough. You may rest assured that I will play my part in them to the very hilt. I know you will. So then, to the congregation. Dude, he better not be dead. He better not be dead. You have returned. This at least the fates are kind. Greetings, First Commander. It pleases me to inform you that Vidofnir has accepted Ceramic's invitation. She has. These are glad tidings indeed. Would that the Lord Commander were here to hear them. Is he otherwise engaged? Aye, sleeping off a knife to the gut. What? What happened? Will he live? The chirurgeons tell me he will make a full recovery. Oh, thank goodness. But had Lord Edmond and Lord Arturel not been on hand when the assassins struck, he would not have been so fortunate. For mercy, they subdued the fiend before he could land the telling blow. The attack was just the beginning, though. Not long after, the buildings all around the city, including several of ours, burst in flame. Bastards caught us completely by surprise. When dousing the fires, but for every one we put out, it seems 2 more start up. Casualties a mountain, especially in the Broom. It is plain these fires were started by the assassin's conspirators. Until they have been rounded up, there will be no end to this. Will you help us find them? Then let us be about it. Flames are spreading. We must needs begin our investigation immediately. Witnesses must be found, suspects must be identified. So Alphino says, have you been able to determine the precise locations where the fires were set? Mayhap there is a pattern. If there is, we have yet to discern it. Fires have been reported throughout the city in both the pillars and the foundation. Indeed, given the size of the area affected, I think it best to divide our forces. Master Alphino and Mistress Ishtola, I would have you take charge of the investigation and foundation. As you wish. Mayhap Tataru could be of assistance as well. I mean, if they win and we get the pillars, once they'll like me up there. Oh, they'll like me up there. Only question is, will the grizzled old rogues striking a pose over there be joining us? Banquet of the Signs of the Seventh Dawn. And may I say what a pleasure it is to meet you too, my lady. I'll bet. Name's Hilda. Scion, eh? And there I was thinking I found a fellow ruffian amongst all these illustrious personages. I will remain here to coordinate the fire-quenching effort. If you learn aught of value, pray inform me immediately. That is all. Well, we could begin by sifting through charred rubble and questioning random passers-by. In my experience, every town has at least one individual who can be counted on to know things he or she should not. Oh, aye. The infamous Lord Emelion de Forton, lover of women and wine. Though neither care for him that much. They say he could gossip for Ishgard. Just the sort of fellow I had in mind. Capital suggestion, Fadwin. He'll be at the Crozier most like, making an effort to be seen. Let's go and see him. Grizzled I will accept, but old? Well, if it isn't Fadwin. Dearest of all my friends. You're looking rather glum. Something the matter, old girl. Ah yes, the arsons. Dreadful business, that. And awfully curious, wouldn't you say? Doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it at all. Naturally, we've doubled the guard outside the manor, along with most of the other houses. Can't have the old pile going up in flames, after all. Oh, in case you're wondering why the Hopland is awash with refugees, the lower levels of the vault have been opened for those unfortunate souls who have lost their homes. They're mixed orders, from what I hear. Remarkable man. Not even a knife in the ribs can keep him from his duties. Actually, old girl, if you were thinking of questioning the refugees, I should be more than happy to accompany you to the Hopland. While you conduct your inquiries, I could offer words of comfort to the distressed and despondent young maidens. Wait a moment, I know what that is. You give me one of your looks, aren't you? You do me an injustice, old girl. I will have you know my heart yearns for but one rose, though she may be, since you remain unconvinced. Very well, if it will help prove the purity of my intentions, I shall gracefully rescind my offer. Run along and catch those arsonists. That was not entirely what I hoped for. Whose idea was it to come here again? Never mind. For our next step, I suggest we divide our efforts. While you question the refugees in the Hopland, Fadewind, I shall investigate the locations where the fires were set. Would you be so good as to join me, Hilda? You know what? I reckon I would. Can't have you roaming about in an unfamiliar city by your lonesome, can we? You'll only get robbed blind and left shivering in your small clothes.
Come, my brothers and sisters, there's food and shelter enough for all in the Basilica.
Hellona's blessings be upon you, Father. I confess we were not sure if we should come. There's so many unbelievable tales these days about the Archbishop and Sir Emmerich and the Javanians.
Trust in your heart, brother, and pay no heed to the lies of lesser men. They seek only to lead you astray. Do you require succor as well, miss? So the Temple Knights have begun their investigation at last. Good. This madness has gone on far too long. Would that I could do something to aid you in your search, but I have a duty to these poor souls. Farewell, and may the Fury guide your steps.
There was a man with a satchel. I saw him kneeling outside the window, and there was smoke everywhere. And it was so hot, I couldn't breathe. I don't remember how I made it out. I suppose I must have climbed. Maybe my arm is getting better after all? Ours was one of the first homes to be claimed, but I didn't see how the fire began. It was only when I heard our neighbors shouting that I looked outside and saw the flames. We barely escaped the clothes on our backs. Were it not for the church's generosity, I don't know what we'd do. Thank you. Thank you for the clip. Great. Ah, there you are. Anything to share? We'll require more than the muddled testimony of a traumatized girl if we are to identify the culprits. While you were questioning the refugees, we inspected the scenes of several of the fires, including one near St. Ramonald's Cathedral, and another near the Tribunal. For mercy, neither structure suffered significant damage. Some might say that we were spared by the grace of the Fury. Others might question how such ruthlessly efficient arsonists contrived to fail so miserably on 2 occasions, when their target was a bastion of Ashgardian orthodoxy. Nothing conclusive, of course, but it does give us cause to wonder. Alphino would doubtless have an opinion. Where's the brew again? Good. Oh, it's probably right through here, isn't it? There you are.
Silence will avail you not, sir. Ah, Phaedwin, I was just about to summon you. As you can see, we have detained a suspect. We found this man loitering near the remains of one of the stricken buildings. According to eyewitnesses, he was also present before the fires broke out. We wished to have words. He did not. So we insisted. Let me go, damn it! You've got the wrong man. Aye, but you reek of oil. Now those burns on your hands. An occupational hazard, I suppose, but tell me, does arson pay well? I'm a victim, you imbecile. Look at me. Aye, that you are, after a fashion. You should know that your pious patron has already spun us a delightful yarn about how his pet mongrel slipped the leash and set about burning half the city to the ground. Not very noble of him, I grant you. But then these highborn types rarely do show loyalty to their pets. In fact, he called you rabid and begged us to put you down. That's bollocks! He's the one what told me to keep going. Even a sinner such as me could find salvation in the Fury's work, he said. I'd left it behind, tried to with all my heart. Said my prayers every day like a good man, but he came to me. He came to me! And there you have it. Hilda, would you be so kind as to escort our friend here to the congregation? Aye, so long as you don't mind if he's limping when he gets there.
That was incredible, Thancred. How do you know he would confess?
Well, I've seen his like before. Troubled soul manipulated by men of power and wielded as a weapon. Could not be certain, of course, but given the stakes, I thought it worth the risk. And if our captive had called your bluff? Must we entertain hypotheticals? The world as it is vexing enough. Thank you, Thancred. Whether by luck or judgment, we have at last confirmed that these arsons were orchestrated by a person or persons of influence. I think it best that we now return to the congregation and discuss how best to proceed.
So many characters.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, I thank you all. The man you apprehended is being interrogated as we speak, though he fell silent upon realizing that we had not turned his master. He will soon tell us what he knows, one way or another. Pardon the intrusion, First Commander. Ah, Lord Arturel. Are you come to see your father? He is attending Sir Emmerich in his chambers at present. I am. He bid me bring this salve. Then do not let me detain you, and thank you for your kindness, my lord. In times of trouble, every man must do his part. Would that I could do more. My lord Arturel did not seem to be in the best of spirits. Little wonder, Master Alphino. His father is widely slandered, and his half-brother not yet cold in the grave. I probably should just take the gill. Oh, we get a minion for this. Nice.
I do not mean to diminish our accomplishments, but until we identify the ones who ordered the fires set, our work is far from finished.
Between the various conservative and religious factions in Ishgard, I dare say there's no shortage of parties who would like to see the status quo preserved. Do any likely suspects spring to mind?
Far too many to count.
Yeah, he's out of bed. He probably shouldn't be out of bed after getting stabbed in the stomach, but yeah, he's still alive.
Lord Commander, your wounds.
Are healing well. Thank you. Time is of the essence. Lest we forget, these men would sooner put their own city to the torch than see it change. When our enemies learn that we have apprehended their arsonist, there is no telling how they will react.
Lord Commander, an armed mob has seized control of the vault.
After all the redemptions from Jonathan earlier, I was expecting with that sound the door opening. Are you winning, son?
And now we know. Tell us what happened, sir. Spare no detail.
We were directing refugees into the Basilica, as you ordered, when all of a sudden, men brandishing weapons were all around us. It happened so fast, my lord. We had no time to respond. They've taken the refugees hostage and barricaded themselves inside the vault.
And they sent you to deliver their demands.
They, the true brothers of the faith, demand that a conclave to select the next archbishop be held forthwith. Furthermore, they declare that you, Lord Commander, are guilty of patricide and high treason, and that you must surrender yourself at once to receive of the Fury's judgment.
Ridiculous! I mean, do they honestly think that executing Sir Emmerich would change anything? That the truth will somehow die with him?
These fundamentalists rage against the passing of the old ways, unable to accept there can be no going back.
Yeah, I'm way off on some of these. Oh well.
Given the fanciful nature of their demands, a peaceful resolution does not seem likely. If the hostages are to be rescued, it will be by force, I fear.
Agreed. Lucia, take a contingent of knights and establish a perimeter outside the entrance.
At once, Lord Commander.
Hilda, I need your people out in force throughout the Broom. When word spreads of the situation, the friends and family of the hostages may try to take matters into their own hands. I will not give these militants more targets. I shall lead the assault on the vault. Master Alphino, can I count on the support of the Scions?
Of course.
We are in your debt.
I shall join you as well, Lord Commander.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lord Atwarel. To arms then, friends. Time is against us.
Okay, so this looks like, just reading the names, that this is the last quest of patch 3.1. Listen well. We will enter the Basilica silently via this gate. According to our latest reports, there are at least 6 hostages being held within. The numbers and readiness of the true brothers of the faith are unknown. I am told one claimed to have served under Thorda on the 7th. Might the same be true of the rest? Given the swiftness with which they seize control of the vault, I think it highly likely, yes. Which means that they may well possess the knowledge required to turn the building's defenses against us. Be that as it may, we have no choice but to press on. Lord Otterel, you are a brave man and true. None would dare question your honor if you chose not to risk your life in this endeavor. Are you certain you wish to join us? No stranger to the battlefield, Sir Emmerich. My arm will not falter, my shield will not break. Alone as my witness, I will bring these fanatics to justice. Well said, my lord. Friends, follow me.
Down with you! You underestimate me.
Where is he? Where is he?
Come no closer!
You have nowhere to run. Release the girl and surrender.
Surrender to whom? The blasphemer who throws wide the gates to our enemy? Who breaks bread with him and calls him brother? Ungodly swine! I would sooner die than surrender to you.
Is it godly to spill the blood of an innocent child? To burn the homes of your brothers? Tell me, priest, is that godly?
Do not speak to me of godliness, heathen! Your father's blood is on your hands, as is hers!
What? But I...
Vidofne!
Well met, knight. Mayhap I chose an inopportune moment?
Not at all. Pray forgive us this most unworthy reception. We are honored to have you with us, and right glad of your aid.
Fortune delivered the child unto me. I had but to receive her.
Thank you for saving me.
Thou art welcome, child.
Never did I think to be indebted to so unexpected a savior. But full glad am I to be so.
Friend of Izel, warrior of warriors, I had hoped to meet with thee. I bear a message from my sire.
From Gracefelder?
Upon returning to our lands, Nidhogg's shade did sing unto his brood, and they for skies unknown did then take wing. This thou must know, for your fates are inextricably bound.
What of Estinian? Is he truly lost to us?
Such matters are beyond my ken. I but bear my father's words. Take from them what thou wilt. Fare you well, mortals.
So it is as they say then. A great white dragon swooped down from the heavens to rescue an innocent child.
A most unexpected turn of events, but not an unwelcome one. The people will not soon forget this day.
Yet how will they choose to remember it, Sir Emmerich? And will these events serve to bring man and dragon closer together, or drive a deeper wedge between brothers? After 1,000 years, the world these men once knew is changing, and with ungentle swiftness to boot. Though their actions are misguided, their sentiments are only to be expected. You may be sure that others will rally to their cause. I share your desire for lasting peace with the Jovanians, I do. But I would not see it built on the bones of our countrymen, nor on our own. I see much of Horsefon you, and I could not bear to mourn the passing of another son.
Lord Edmund.
That Vidofnir should chance to arrive even as the girl fell. Truly, I could not have planned it better myself.
Ah, good. We were afraid you might have left.
A shield, my lord?
Fit for a true knight. An expression of our gratitude to you and yours. Long overdue. But there is something else I would discuss ere you part. Something which cannot leave this room. My father will soon step down as head of our house. Sir Emmerich was not the only one to fall under suspicion following the death of the Archbishop. There are some who believe my father complicit in a coup d'etat. Thus he intends to renounce his title to absolve our house of suspicion and secure the support of our peers.
Surely there must be another way to convince houses Durandare and Zamail.
So I said to him. Alas, he will not budge. Ever since I was a child, I knew that I would one day succeed my father. The thought of it filled me with pride. Yet once I learned the day was at hand, my heart was filled with naught but dread. Our legacy is built upon the lies of our forefathers. In accepting this title, am I not perpetuating this injustice? Why should I become the next count? You sound just like him. Aye, I suspect that is what Horchefon would have said. To aid those in need. When you look on that shield, I trust you will remember his words. And should I once more find my resolve wavering, I ask that you show me the way. You are a sister to Horchefon. Will you be a sister to me as well? Come, Manelaine. There's much to be done. For Father, and for Sir Emmerich, and for Ishgard. To think we share the same blood. Pray excuse us.
Those were the days of promises and vows, of tentative first steps into an uncertain future. A future shaped by the choices we made, in ways we could never have foreseen. Born of good and evil, of light and darkness, and shepherded by our hand. Be it for weal, or be it for woe.